The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough, join the family. It's all love while we laugh at first criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Ooh, oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Dr. Berry. Hello, Sofa Squad. How are you doing?
Doing so good. I'm so glad that you watched this and that we get to talk about this.
Me too. Thanks for dropping the one, Mama. And thank you, Mods, for being here. Thank you, Sofa Squad. And thank you, Dr. Berry's people and everybody for being here. I cannot tell y'all how excited I've been to talk to Dr. Berry about this. Y'all. Oh my goodness. This was crazy. So we're talking today about Unknown Number, the incredibly viral Netflix documentary that is also, obviously a real life story. And this is the case about Lauren. What was her last name again? Lauren, do you remember?
It sounds I don't know how to say it. It was like yeah.
Well,
Yeah, like looted. Me and names.
Same. So Lauren and her boyfriend Owen are essentially, and I'm going to say the two main victims in it because there's so many victims of this case, but they're like the center of it. And between the two, I would say Lauren is the main focus because it ends up, of course, being her mother that is doing the victimizing. And by victimizing, what I mean by that is she was sending these horrifying text messages, cyberbullying, stalking, etc., etc. And it ends up, going on for quite a year or two until they finally figure out that it's the mother. And do this, Dr. Berry, hold on one second. I've got to go yell at the boys because they're going ballistic downstairs.
No worries. And so thank y'all for being here. We will be doing some spoilers. And so if you haven't watched it and you want to put yourself through it, if you don't have Netflix, no worries. Paul has videos about this over on his channel. This will be my third video covering this topic.
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries.
The boys are downstairs. There's so much stuff spread in the room right now. I might bring them up here if they keep going off.
No worries.
There's so much stuff around here. I'm like, ooh, I don't want them getting into stuff. So, okay, one of the questions, the biggest one, we were talking about this right beforehand, is, and I guess to recap very quickly, so the mother was convicted. She's done her time, if you will, and she's out. Okay, so Lauren's full custody with the father, et cetera, and the documentary kind of leaves us off at, I hope to have a relationship with my mom, and I love her more than the world, and all that kind of stuff. Where does one go? Like, I don't even know if could you even say, I've seen something like this in my family practice, or this is so extreme. It's like, where do you go from this level of betrayal?
And so I've worked with individuals that have had parents that are extreme, that put their needs first. And what this docuseries, because if they told us at the beginning who is behind the unknown number, I don't think it would have been as viral as it was, because you're almost a third, almost halfway through the documentary not knowing who it really is, and then you find out it's Kendra who's been giving interviews this entire time. So I think, because there are TikToks, and I'm sure it's on YouTube by now too, of people recording other people's reactions to finding out who's behind it, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh." And also, I think we also have to remember the producers are trying to convey something specific. And so Lauren could have been recorded for 8 to 10 to maybe 20 hours, and they are splicing out what they want to tell, a narrative that they want to tell. And so there might have been some things that were left out. And so that's why I try to be careful. But the things that are in the documentary, I like to remind people that kids are wired to love their parents. So we're wired to connect that way, and harm by a family member is much harder to heal from. It's doable. It's totally doable, but it's harder because it goes at the very foundation of trust, attachment, and safety. And so if Lauren was my client, our first place we would start is safe and unsafe people. And then also her learning how to trust herself again, because there might have been a part of her that thought, I wonder, because there was a part in the documentary where people were like, I wonder if Lauren is trying to get attention, like, and so that came up in the documentary, and I've seen it in my comments. I personally don't think that Lauren had anything to do with any of this. A lot of people, I think, misread her lack of reaction when the police officer kind of vaguely is like, "Hey, the person behind, like, it was your mom," like, and then like that whole situation must have been incredibly confusing, and I think she was kind of disconnected. And then Sarah asked a great question: are mothers like wired to love? But I think Kendra might legit have her own history of trauma, but that's where we have to heal first. Like, that's where your own therapy, your own work. So that's where you have to do your work first. There is a such thing as intergenerational or generational trauma, where if people don't heal, they can pass their wounds down to the next generation.
Wow, that right there, I'm talking insightful. I'm like, book me an appointment. Sign me up for Monday morning. So that was amazingly insightful. And I want to kind of like add on to a couple of the things that you said there
Yes.
that made me think about stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, so when they did, let's talk about the body cam footage, number one. So when they're coming in and doing that, and we also have the context of that article from The Cut that's like, yeah, towards the end, the town and people started kind of putting together that it's looking like it's her mother.
Yeah.
So I think one thing was going on is that it was things added up for the cop or whatever at that point. Like, yep, I guess shockingly it is. So there wasn't like a big aha moment for maybe the adults in this scenario. I mean, there are some of them, but not to the extent that the documentary made it out for. But with Lauren, to me, I was like, I think that's how I would have reacted, because like you said, number one, she's a literal kid. I would have been humiliated. I would have been embarrassed. I would have been ashamed. I would have been angry. I would have been hurt. I think if there was a situation where we're thinking of, it would make me pass out for the flood of emotion and adrenaline, all that right there, because I'm just like, what do you even say with that whole floodgate that comes open? And it's like, it's officially your mom.
And so that's where a freeze response or a people pleasing response can sometimes happen. We are wired to survive as well. And so in an unsafe and a stressful situation, to survive it, because in that moment, Lauren's only option was police officer or her mother. Like, there was no other safe person. So, because I almost wish that they had waited until dad was home, because she might have had a different reaction. because first of all, dad would have been pissed off. Like dad, I think would have emoted and done I think dad's reaction might have cued Lauren that it's okay to be upset about this, because I think Lauren might have been protecting her mother's emotions for a while. Because in that moment, it almost seemed like Kendra wanted sympathy and support. Like she was saying she was trying to comfort her daughter, but it almost seemed like she was like, don't hate me, still love me, don't push me. Like the mom is doing this. And no, like Lauren had every right to be upset. But in that moment, I don't know. Sometimes people check out. And clinically, we call it dissociation. Dissociation happens on a spectrum. Everybody checks out a little bit. So if you've ever been driving for a long time, sometimes, so like for my drive to work, I'll see exit 140, and then sometimes I look up and it's like, oh, I'm already at exit 130, and I don't remember those other. Whoo, I was on autopilot for 10 miles. And so everybody's brain will check out in small bits, but during stressful situations, because Paul, you said you would have been flooded with emotions. And so sometimes our brain almost removes us from that situation so that you're not flooded in that moment, but the flood often comes later, because Lauren does show a reaction when dad comes home and is like, Kendra, get out. You can't, you gotta go call your mom like that. You gotta go somewhere.
Yeah, and let me tell you what, on that note, and again, incredibly insightful what all you just said. So one of the things going on watching it too, where you just mentioned about you think that Lauren was probably doing like some, kind of regulating of her mother's emotions, like for a while, whatever. So by the time we find that out, and even before we find out that it's the mom, you can already see some weird red flaggy stuff about financial stuff that they've mentioned throughout, where it's like, okay, I'm putting together that there's some kind of something with this family and money and whatever. And then of course we figure out that it all adds up. And now again, the after context that I got from that article, which goes more in depth about the level of financial lying and stuff she was doing. So what I'm getting at with that is I was like, Lauren, because again, kids don't, whatever the norm is the norm for them. So if Lauren's like, oh, well, we have to move every 2 years because something bizarre happens, she doesn't know it's bizarre. That's just their world of some drama goes down and we have to switch houses and then this happens, and because the mom came up with next level stuff. So I was like, she's probably already used to having to regulate that kind of stuff in the household, and then without knowing that she's regulating it because it's her mom placing that on her.
Mhm.
And then, like you said, the physical behaviors of the mother, it makes me literally feel icky right now when they're showing the body cam, because I did not get, I'm comforting you. I got, you can't abandon me. I
Yes.
need you. You
Yes.
can't hate me. I need you emotionally now more than you need me, to the degree that I'm physically going to hang on to you. And you even heard when the dad's like, girl, got to go. She was like, I can't leave Lauren. And I'm like, oh, honey, you can leave Lauren for the night. Like you've got to go.
But I think mom had built this world where Lauren was dependent on mom. Because if you remember earlier in the documentary, the other kids were like, Lauren was focused on sports. She really didn't, like, really, Owen was the first time I think she strongly connected with somebody outside of her mother. And I personally think her mother got jealous of that. And then mom got this weird obsession with Owen, and she wanted that for herself, which is ick. Ick.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And then one thing that really got to me is when the dad came home. And again, I can't get past the body cam. I almost wanted to do a video just on the body cam footage because there's so much going on with it. So
And
dad,
I hope somebody gets it where they just show, because if you air it with, or Netflix probably bought the rights. I don't know if they bought the rights to it, but
oh yeah, I would like to see it because you can also tell where, I mean, it's edited. So they're putting, like, I would like to see the uncut. Here's the entire thing, because I'm sure it has a different story. And yeah, I actually thought about setting the camera up and literally recording because I can't find it anywhere, recording the screen just to make commentary on it. And I might still do it because there's so much going on. So like the dad comes home. First of all, seeing a grown man crying in front of his family, I was like, whoa, because you know that, okay, so he's grown up. He's been here, he's been there. He would, I think, have to know a little bit level more of BS meter with the wife talking about, okay, you handle the bills and what happened, and we got foreclosed, we're moving, like, but he just kind of seemed to tune that to, oh, okay, well, here we are. I got a little visitor. We found our way. To tune that, he tuned that out and let Kendra do that. Totally cool. Find a lot of people operate that way. Unfortunately, she did some next level stuff with it, and so he's having that hit him. Because remember, they were telling him also, oh yeah, by the way, that job, yeah, she didn't get fired. She did this. He's like, well, what about this job? Can you imagine finding out that your partner, you're like, wait, they haven't been working for the last 6 months? What have they been doing? It's like that level of, you don't know this person, you don't know who they are.
She's been stalking children full time.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
full time.
Like, that's what she's been doing, and that is so problematic. And like I said, if you lose your job and this is what you do, like you, there is professional, like there is big time, like, because everybody. So I've lost a job before. I've been unemployed before, and what I did was I binge Netflix, or I, like, you know what I mean, like like you find something else. You don't then want the life of your daughter, and it was so weird, so weird,
so bizarre. And the way she hid the phone in the woodpile when the cops arrived, and then so the dad's like, well, she has the other phone, and she lies about that to the cops. And it's like, here's the other thing too. We've seen people kill for less in these cases we cover. So when the dad was like, you have to go, you have to go, you have to go, to me, I was like, now who knows what he was like, I might choke her out in the middle of the night or whatever. But I'm like, at this point, I would be scared to be in the same room with that woman, because I'm like, I don't know who this human being is. I thought I did. She could blow our heads off in the middle of the night. I mean, people do this all the time.
Yeah.
So I was glad that he knew enough to be like, you have to go. And the fact that she was like latching in even harder. No, I can't leave Lauren. Lauren was so much of her excuse. Now, let me jump over here real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that article in the cut, I keep referring back to it, but it adds so much context. When they were describing the town, and I said this in my video about it, where I'm like, oh, I'm from a small town, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, but no, I'm not. Like, this is way small. And the high school seemed to be that's it. That was it, the high school. And if you weren't part of that crowd, it was like, And Kendra seemed to so bad want to be part of that. And I think she was getting multiple things from the Owen Lauren situation. And one of those was access to the in crowd.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like along the way, the in crowd got the weird vibe off of her. And so it was like, no, we can't talk about Owen. We can't talk about that. We can only talk about the whatever, the issues, whatever. And so that was like a level of access for her to get that. I don't know. That part just really creeped me out.
And because I think Owen's family was well off. I think even I think there were other people that were more popular in the community, in the town. And I think Kendra wanted to fit in with all of that, but in a way of her like 13, 14-year-old self, and not as a grown woman.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very strange. Or and even as they were trying to research and figure out who it was, she's probably like meeting at their houses, like they're probably calling people that normally might not talk with her or call her. We're now trying to problem solve and strategize this, not knowing that she's the one behind everything. And so it is one of because like I said, the way Netflix builds your emotions up, where they start out with these messages are real. Because I would have thought if they hadn't said like these are the actual messages, I would have thought, is Netflix playing this up a little? Like, are they making this more than it really? And it was like, no, like these are, they have transcripts, they have hundreds of pages of messages that this woman sent her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend. It was so troubling, and it made me want to throw my phone when Kendra had the nerve to say we all make mistakes. Like we all so have I ever gotten a speeding ticket? Yes. But I've never had to go to court. Like I'm always like within that range of like it was 15 over one time, and the cop let me know because one time it was 19 and he was like, at 20 that would have been you'd have had to go to court. And I was like, you didn't get me at 20. And it was always in those towns. I thought the speed limit was 45, but it was actually 35. So I thought I was going 9 over, but I was going 19. But
a likely excuse.
Well, if you know the drive from Virginia Beach down to North Carolina, down you get and so it was one of those back roads. But for her to have the nerve to be like, we all make mistakes. To me, she still seemed to be minimizing everything. And I hope she spoke with a lawyer or something, because if I was Lauren's current therapist, I would have strong feelings about whether or not now I couldn't base my opinion on the documentary. I would have to talk to mom before forming any type of opinion that would be in court. But it does not seem like mom is in a place where she's able to admit like the truth behind what was really underneath all of this. Like there's some work that needs to happen to address some of the roots of these things, if everything that she said in the documentary is true.
I mean, and like you said with this, yeah, when she minimized it, starting with well, we all make mistakes, we all do something that we could get arrested for and probably do whatever. And I'm just like, again, got it, 100%. I see where you're coming. I see the path we're on, but this is so extreme. I'm like, people get killed in prison for these kind of crimes when they go. Like, this is so insane.
And she was so lucky that they didn't go for a
SA charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the biggest. I don't know if you and I already talked about this. How she managed to stay off that list is beyond me. And what do you think? Do you have any insight on that?
And I think if she had sent pictures of herself or asked for pictures, do you know, like that would have been actual. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. Now it should be a crime. And that's where we have to work on our laws. It should be a crime to send those types of messages to minors. And I think depending on the jurisdiction, some people might do contributing to the, and also like, I think because the kids didn't engage, because let's say, you know, like some kid, like let's say the kid was going back and forth with her, then it might have been. I'm not a lawyer. I just like to watch lawyers on YouTube. It might have been contributing to the delinquency of a minor, or it might have been something. The lawyer, talked about how it could have. His thoughts on, so people can go check that out if they want to see a lawyer's perspective. But
interesting.
But but I think, but also I did want to mention there could be child CPS charges that we're not aware of. So in my state, you can be found in family court. They can say there's founded, so CPS can determine there's founded harm, and not press legal charges, but there's still a CPS directory where a person is flagged as having a founded CPS case.
Interesting.
Where they confirmed there was harm, but there might not have been legal charges, because they don't always press the legal charges. So yeah, it was a mess.
Now, another thing too is, so on that where the mom is like wanting to get, I want to have a relationship and do this and do that, whatever. Yeah, for me, like you said, if I was Lauren's therapist and I saw the lack of accountability and the minimizing, because to me, there's so much behind the scenes work, meaning like mentally, that has to go on with Kendra. And I 100% get that this would take quite some time to be like, what did I do? Like the enormity of that is so powerful. I don't know if some people might not be able to fully accept it and say and be accountable on that level because it's so extreme. But on some level, like where we saw her at in the documentary, at least, I was like, oh, she's still very far away, almost like trying to not blame, but like point a finger, it felt like.
But that's where I wonder if she was trying, if this was a therapy session, which is a little weird, if she would have presented, if this wasn't public, if this wasn't a Netflix documentary that was going out to the world, was there a narrative that the mother wanted to be public? And if it had just been one-on-one, but to me, you show your true colors to the world. Like if this is like, because there are other people that would do the opposite of that, where they would fake. So Ruby Frankie, if you followed that case, she's putting off to the world like, oh my gosh, I realize what I did and all of that. But I would wonder if any of that was really true. Like she knows what to say. She's listened to her lawyers, and I would just wonder if there's real work, if she truly realizes how harmful this was. This was the opposite, where to the world, here's this woman saying, yeah, like it, but like everybody makes mistakes, and her excuse didn't make any sense to me. I was trying to protect her. No, like that didn't make any sense, because if that was true, it would have stopped once they broke up.
Oh yeah, and on that note, like let's talk about that for a second. The excuse that she cooked up, right? And I'm sitting here like this. I'm like, okay, so I get that she's probably in her only like, who are you going to really be able to bounce these ideas around to come up with the excuse? So she's in her own echo chamber coming up with a reasoning. But like the thing that she was like, well, it started off, and I basically got the idea from somebody else, which there's no evidence that anyone else ever started texting. So my belief is that it was her from the get-go. It didn't make sense what she was trying to say, that she wanted to protect them and figure out and do this. And like you said, if that was the case, then why didn't it stop? She, in my opinion, 100% started this on her own, and it got worse and worse and worse. And I also think it was an addiction for her. I mean, it was a complete escape, because even like she said, it was like wearing a mask. It was like this or that, behind the scenes, she's, lost her job, living in a town no one really likes her, nothing going on, and then she's the center of the town scandal. Unfortunately, it's victimizing the daughter and Owen on that level too. And I'm not going to go I'm not going to go into the specifics of the text messages, but I will say that they were so, and from what I understand, we saw the watered down versions on Netflix. Like I've heard from people, whatever, that's like, it gets way worse than what we saw. And I'm like, it can get worse. So the things that she was saying were so vile. Just like that dude said, he's like, I'm a 53-year-old man, and I was blushing like at this stuff. I was like, I don't even know. I mean, maybe kids talk different these days. I was like, in all my life, I've never even heard dudes talk like in a locker room that way. Like it was beyond, let's say, SA and like twisted, dark fantasies. And I also feel like, number one, she is so lucky when those kids didn't unalive themselves.
Great.
I'm shocked it didn't happen. And I personally think if it had gone on for longer, somebody would have. Because you could hear Owen talking about like where he's like, I can't talk to anybody. I'm a curse. I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, that's a hopeless situation to put a kid in, because when you're that old, when you're a kid like that, your world is so tiny, but it feels so big. So like school, high school, even though like hindsight is like, oh my gosh, that, was a blip in time, but it's so huge to you when you're in it. And so to have something like that going on, I'm like, oh, she's lucky when these kids didn't do something to themselves. And then again, just the stuff she was coming up with, I'm like, that's some twisted stuff. That's some dark web stuff, whatever you call it.
And her explanation, I know my daughter so well. I know my daughter would never, like she is really lucky, because the fact, I don't think Lauren still has some trouble integrating into this community. Like, she's still kind of on the outside. Owen still won't talk to her or have a, like, because I'm surprised that her and dad didn't move. And if they did, please keep them. Like, I wouldn't, like, I don't think people should look for anybody like that. But if it was, I'm just like, all of this was just so much, and it was so heavy. And like you said, it really could have been tragic, even for the people that were falsely accused.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've seen some people that are falsely accused and they can't handle, like things come, everybody comes down on them so hard, and even though they were falsely accused, they still end up with very strong thoughts. And so this whole situation is just really, really messy, and it was years. And it's frustrating that her sentence was shorter than the crime, but it's my understanding that that was the longest that they could give. The kids were spared a trial, but because her attorney probably would have tried to say, because if it did go to court, they probably would have tried to blame somebody else or put it on someone else. And so in that way, she kind of did take accountability, but it was because she got a really good deal. She got a really, really good deal, in my opinion.
She was lucky. Yeah, that deal was sweet what she got. Because, and yeah, I think too, by not going to trial, it was the one decent thing that she did and agreed to the plea deal. Because 100% they would have blamed other people. And then at minimum, having to get those kids, it's completely re-traumatizing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then too, on that note, so when we start off hearing the story in the beginning of the high school sweetheart story between Owen and Lauren, then to where it goes of he's like, yeah, I don't talk to her anymore, and da 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 da. And then in that magazine, the cut, or the article, the cut, where Chloe and her family are basically kind of like insinuating in that of, oh, well, Lauren probably knew, and she was always talking to her mom, and she was doing like, what was she doing that for, and this, that, and the other. And I mean, at the end of the day, pardon me, this is done and they're still going to the same, I mean, not now, but like at that point, they're still going to school. And I'm just like, yeah, I can't fathom doing that. No, I'm sure, I shouldn't say that, I'm sure, but I assumed that one reason it could have been finances, that they didn't they were unable to relocate. Because it's to uproot your life, especially when he's from there, the dad, is a lot, and it sounds like from what he described, what's her name? Kendra allegedly had the breadwinning job when she had it.
Oh.
And he had more of like he was like, like a hardworking blue collar kind of a job. But Kendra, again, this is allegedly because she lied about it for so long. She had like the fancy credential job, if you will.
Yeah.
And he was like, doing more like physical, he was like going to work, whatever, doing his stuff. So in the cut, it describes how even his work, what do you call them, like work friends and whatnot, would be like referring to her, Kendra, as the sugar mama and joking around and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, when this probably fell through, he probably depended on that income, and they couldn't leave. And I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. And so there was another thing too. So Chloe's parents, the mom dressed up, and this is another thing where I'm just like, the repercussions of this. So the mom dressed up at the Halloween party, not the original one they're speaking of, where Lauren wasn't invited, but like after the fact, whatever, as Lauren's mother, Kendra. And she dressed up as a scarecrow, and she had like phones attached to her hands and stuff like that. And so that was like another thing that people were coming at her for, the bad taste of it. Cause it's like, Lauren's still in school there. And like, even though I get, we're not trying to sit here and defend Kendra, but it's also like, you're doing the same thing. Like, you're kind of bullying her, meaning Lauren. Like, that's her mom. You know what I mean? Even though she did this horrible thing. Like, why do that? And one of the comments I saw in my TikTok rabbit hole is somebody said it's like everybody's still in high school in this town, even the adults. And I was like, that's what it feels like.
And I thought Owen's parents had the most mature response of every, I don't know, like I thought his family from everything I've seen, but wow. Um yeah. And I have a dark sense of humor. But sometimes people take things further than I ever would. Like that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, and Riley, I hope I'm saying your name right, says one of the kids did mention at the start of the documentary that the parents themselves are very gossipy and immature. Yeah, and that's kind of what stuck out. Pardon me. That's what stuck out to me is that they kind of set you up for that. This is a small town. Even the parents are like, it's who did what or whatever. Because another thing too, and I'm sorry, I keep referring to the cut article, but they talked about that. The extent that Kendra was interacting with students at the school on other levels, like, hey, Tanika, like going up and gossiping about other kids and stuff, and take out the crimes that she did, take out that, because we've all I've seen this before where parents are like that, where they get gossipy about other kids and this and that and the other. I'm like, that is so inappropriate when you see an adult joining in, especially on school grounds or at a thing.
And to me, it's different. So I used to talk to my mom about, ooh, let me tell you about but she wasn't going and talking to other people. She wasn't talking to the kids about, do you know what I mean? Like I just had a safe adult that I could talk to about who that could kind of, because I think sometimes kids need mature adults to help them navigate situations. Because I'll be honest, I was accidentally a mean girl. Like I was really nosy. And what I would do is if I heard so-and-so say this about so-and-so, I would go and I would be like, ooh, did you know so-and-so was saying this? And all of a sudden somebody wanted to beat me up because I passed the message and I was like, ooh, wait a minute, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. This has nothing to do with me. And I teach kids. I was like, hey, if somebody comes up to you and said so-and-so was saying they heard so-and-so say this, you ask them, what did you say? Because if you're sitting here gossiping with so-and-so, like you're sitting here listening to them say bad stuff about me, and you're gonna come and like, what did you say in that in that moment? And so like there was a part of me that could kind of understand. I mean, like I was in like 8th grade, I think 8th or 9th grade. And I was trying to be cool with like the older, because I was hanging out with like 10th, 11th, 12th graders, and keep your mouth shut. Don't go saying stuff.
Robin in the chat was just saying what you said, and to me it sounds like a book, Accidental Mean Girl. I think you this sounds like this sounds like a book I want to read. But what you were describing, so in the beginning where you were talking about okay, the norm of kids having a safe parent to go to and like not gossip, but like, well, so-and-so did this. Yeah, to me, that's completely normal. And being able to go home and talk to your mom or dad or whoever that adult, whatever the situation is in your situation. And like you said, but when it pours into said parent, then goes to school and that's where it's definitely like, okay, huh? Because I can sit here. I mean, I think that I can remember doing that. Like your parents kind of inadvertently get involved. I mean, as it should be. They know about who you're talking about, what's going on at school, who's this, and what they do, and da. But it was like Kendra, she liked the attention of it. She sought out attention and praise or whatever from children, like in that weird, creepy way.
Red flag.
Red flag. And then obviously it turned into. So let's talk for a second about Owen. Do we think, or what level does it go to? Was she in love with Owen? Was she crushing on Owen? Did she want Owen? Like, do we think this was headed in the direction of, I want Owen, I want to make this happen? Or fantasy?
The most troubling part of this, Owen literally found a girlfriend 45 minutes away. And Kendra find this girl's mother's phone number and starts doing the same thing like, to me, that is just based on the publicly, the public information, that sounds like an obsession. Like, that is incredibly and this is your daughter's ex-boyfriend, like, this is a child. Like, he couldn't even find happiness 45 minutes away. And he broke up with this girl that he probably liked. He was like, "Oh," because even now, and they didn't really get into it, how this impacts them now, with her being out. um some some of the people involved in this story might have concerns, and now people would watch her. If weird messages came up, they would probably call the FBI, and like, they would know what to do now. But there could be this fear of, like, what's happening. I had a client that, when I was meeting with them, all of a sudden I started getting weird message like, I started getting weird phone calls. And I think their wife had concerns, and no concerns about, like, don't be concerned about me. So I think I was getting weird calls because there were some concerns. And it turned out that I needed to refer out, and that was fine. But in any case I have like that, where I'm working with somebody and it's like, I think there are some deeper issues here, and I don't think I'm the best person to help them. I will help them find somebody else, because sometimes, even as a counselor or as a therapist, sometimes clients can, and I've never had a client that I thought was, like, obsessed with me or anything. But sometimes I've just had concerns about boundaries, or things like that. But Kendra did not seem to have boundaries. I thought her cousin shared a lot of insight into her. So I liked that information that was shared, that she had this long history of lying, that really you don't realize just how bad it is until you get away from her. And then you can kind of see things clearly. And it was incredibly troubling.
Another thing too with her cousin that was talking that also was similar to what people described in the article was her cousin was like, "Hey, I guess the cousin was being interviewed at a bar or
Mhm.
restaurant. She was like, if we were here talking and she was here, she would be over in that table dancing, trying to get the attention on her." And when people were talking about her in the article, and they were saying that she would be doing cartwheels down the halls at school, and like dancing, like doing Sir Mix-a-Lot, and just things to try and garner attention, like probably in her mind thinking this is what that age group will find funny, so let me get that attention. So that was like, wow, yes, so she has this
And
major need for approval from.
and without any insight of how embarrassing that is to your child. Do you So, like, I would never, like, try to. So if my son was like, gave me some feedback of, like, "Hey, mommy," so let's say I was trying to wear my hair bonnet to school or something. Like, if I wasn't getting fully dressed, or appropriate, but not like I'm wearing my pajamas or something. And my son was like, "Hey, mom, can you put on some real clothes?" I'd be like, "Oh, my bad, sure." Like, my child can give me feedback like that. The fact that so Lauren, I wonder if she was embarrassed of her mom.
That's
And
a great question.
and her mom is so her mom probably had more friends, or because that's where it's almost like Kendra thought of these kids as her friends
Hmm.
too, which
Hmm.
is she was trying to be the cool mom, but almost like their age, and not from a mom perspective.
Hmm.
She's the one that probably, if the kids did come over to the house, those are the ones that will, like, give children things that are illegal, that they're not supposed to do, because they're trying to fit in so much.
Have you seen that movie Ma?
Is it scary?
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, my brain, I do with therapy, like, I listen to all types of stuff all week. I like funny, because I barely made it through this docuseries. No lie. A friend of mine that's a school social worker out in Chicago, she was like, Patrice, you have to watch it. And so I watched it. I started watching at like 12 or 1 o'clock. And I'm sitting here once it dropped, I was texting her mad. I'm like, what the did you just make me watch? Like, you could have warned me.
This one did need a warning for sure. So another thing that you brought up here that I also thought was interesting, and again, if you haven't read the article, y'all just Google The Cut Unknown Number and read it. It's amazing. It gives you so much insight. Okay, when they were talking about a series of text messages that were legitimately from the mother to Lauren, and they were at a basketball game, and her and Owen had kind of broken up, and it was the first time they weren't sitting together. You know what I'm saying? Which is major, like in like a teenage breakup world, like they're not sitting together. Well, the mom's sitting there texting her, go sit next to him, move your butt, but she's saying cuss words. And I mean, she's going off on Lauren in text messages, telling her how to interact with Owen, and like, listen to me, go do this. And I was like, whoa. So here's a snapshot of the mom being mom to daughter, and she's trying to tell her how to act. It literally was like this whole thing of like, almost like, I'm going to tell you how to keep a man. And it's like, girl, they're like 13 years old.
And yet without respecting her daughter's choices. So I think it's really important for kids to learn early. If you get something in your gut that something's not quite right, listen to it and like just see if there's anything there. And so if that day, let's say Lauren was mad at him because of the message, I don't know, like let's say she was upset about something. The fact that mom is like, no, go and sit with him. But I think it was more of the perception of how it all looked. And now everybody was going to know that they were arguing, or I don't know. Like, I feel like it was more of a perception thing than her actually wanting to help her daughter. Because it almost seemed like everything was about mom and how mom looked, and how it really wasn't about Lauren, I don't think.
Yeah, oh, I 100% agree. And you also talked a minute ago about the whole thing about like, embarrassing the kid and, doing stuff at school and trying to be cool to the kids. Looking at Lauren's personality, because she was so quiet and so reserved, and so like, she just seemed like a young lady that was like, I do my sports, I do my homework, I'm doing this. Go ahead.
Can you imagine being raised by a parent that has like main character energy? Because like how could she? If she had any bit of personality, I think mom would have tried to squash it. You know what I mean?
100%. I mean, that's the thing where it was like this role reversal on many levels, but like that being one of them, to where, and you hinted on this too, where you're like, I wonder how, if Lauren was embarrassed, if Lauren was this. And it made me wonder if like Lauren was like, I wish I could be like mom. All the kids laugh at her jokes, all the kids, not grasping probably, or having the experience, but they think your mom's cringy. Like, they might entertain her in the moment because they're being polite, but like, that's so not the way it's supposed to go.
So I've worked with individuals like, and not necessarily, this is the worst of the worst situation, but a situation where the parent is trying to live through the child, and sometimes that child will not like people. They'll say, I don't like people, but it's more about, because I don't know that Kendra taught Lauren how to have healthy relationships. So we learn about healthy relationships based on the interactions that we have with others. You also have to remember that for Lauren, this was normal. So what we experience, what we live with, is our normal. So I work in the Northern Virginia area. And in our area, it is normal on a Friday for it to take me an hour to get home. Like, that's just like, it's just Friday. Like, it's just Friday, especially summer traffic. It could take me 45, because it's supposed to take about 30 minutes, but it can take 40 to 45 minutes either way during the summer. Just like, that's normal. But then if somebody lives somewhere else where they don't get a lot of traffic, they would taking them an hour to get home would be like, Like they'd be all upset. And I'm just like, oh, it was only an hour today. It could have been an hour and a half. Like, it could have been longer.
We're lucky it wasn't that. Yeah, let me tell you what, there is nothing. I used to go to DC for work, and we would take the train during COVID, but then we would drive out tomorrow. Let me tell you what, that traffic coming up, it is, I mean, it is serious.
For no reason. Like it's like there's not a reason.
Literally. Doesn't matter what time of day it is, like it just does not matter. I mean, sure, it's worse around like 5 o'clock, whatever it is. But oh my goodness, I was like, there is no way. But Buc-ee's was always my saving, like my whatever. I loved being like, we're gonna stop at Buc-ee's. We're gonna stop at Buc-ee's. Yeah, I used to love that. True Crime Amanda says, "Oh no, I work 12 minutes from my house these days." Hey, that's even better.
No, not really. So I like not running into clients at the grocery store. Like that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah. Also too, I don't know if you're this way with your profession or whatever. So I used to like having, and still do, decompression time in the car. And especially I'm imagining with you, you're listening to like really going over other people's stuff all day long. I'm like, oh, I would need to just like just change that energy. But like, we're going home.
I leave it in Fredericksburg. Just leave it there, and then I go home, and it's nice.
Yeah. So I'll be interested to see with this if there is any level of a follow-up, because this went so viral. And I remember this case as well. There's several cases like this of, you hear this from time to time of like the cheerleader's mom did this and blah, 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 blah. I'm curious to see if we're going to see in 5 years, where is Lauren? What is she doing?
The sad thing, I think Kendra thought it would go well and people would understand her and understand her perspective. Like she's probably surprised. Oh my gosh. Like she might be mad at Netflix but they like, she said those words. Like those are the words that she said. She tried to blame it on her past experience, which does not make any sense. I've worked with people that were overprotective of their daughters, where they would not allow them to date, or they would, like, if they're at the movies, the mom is sitting in between the kids at the movie, or like I've seen people be overprotective. This was not protecting her daughter in any way. To me, it was traumatizing. Like that was a lot.
And now that's an excellent point too that you're bringing up, because okay, so look at the cases that we follow where the Sarah Boones, the Nick Casodas, the cases where Nancy Brophy, where they're like, no, everybody hold my beer. I'm telling you, when I get up there and tell my side, they've got this. I've got this, y'all. We're going home after this, right? And it doesn't go that way. I think you're right. She had to have thought, because who in their right mind would would even agree to be in it? It's like, absolutely not. Even if you look at from I'm trying to get my kid back and do the right thing. I don't want to risk saying something that will be misconstrued in a public manner. So I'm going to sit this out. Y'all tell your story how you need to. My focus is on getting my kid back in that relationship.
So it made it worse for me that I got to hear, or like her perspective made it worse.
100%.
It's my understanding that they recorded, like, she agreed at the last minute. It's my understanding. So when you research her involvement, it's my understanding that they had recorded everybody else first. Her team agreed to do it, and they recorded their questions and everything of her. And because her agreeing to be in it might have changed how the production team wanted to lay things out in editing.
Somebody up here just said, it already went by. Bandit's mom said, let me go find it, but she doesn't care. Look at what she did to begin with. No shame. like zero. She's operating on a different level of taking the temperature of the room. her take the temperature of the room is way off than like and I don't mean to say normal or average person, but like just the general consensus of maybe I should sit this one out. But she probably, so look at it from a business point of view, probably Netflix and their people were like, okay, look, we're telling our side of the story. This is your chance, because for a documentary, they're selling a product and they want it to be juicy and do exactly what it did. So, they were like, look, if you could get her to speak in it, please, right? It makes it all the much more salacious. So I'm sure they were like, look, this is your chance. You can tell your side. This is your moment. And I'm sure she was like, I have to. My reputation's going to be destroyed.
And I wonder, and I don't know how it went, because Lauren's interview, she seemed to be on the fence about whether she wanted a relationship with her mom or not. And I don't know if people heard that back and forth, that at times she was like, I don't believe what my mom says, and yet I can't see having my life without her. And that's something you have to work on in therapy. Like that is a true thing. And there are therapists that specialize in reunification therapy. So there is, because I think in one of my videos I said if there was any contact, it should be like with a therapist. Like it should be someone that specializes. And sometimes what you do is you literally meet with the parent first. And you're like, hey, this is what these are the boundaries. Don't make it about you. And I don't know if she can. So that's where like you have to don't make it about you. Don't shame and blame. Don't try to make excuses. Like just listen. Like all you need to do, let Lauren tell you how this has affected her, and you just have to hear it. And don't say anything. Like sometimes there are therapists that specialize in that type of work. Some people talk about family preservation, but that because I think there's something where she can't have contact. I think she lost custody, and I think there's no contact until 18. But 18 is still they're an adult legally, but like they're still kind of a young adult. And nothing magic happens at 18 that makes you better at making decisions. The brain doesn't stop developing until between 21 and 25. And so I hope that there are people supporting everybody involved, therapists, licensed.
And I also saw it was a TikTok, so take this with a grain of salt or whatever. This is unconfirmed. Sorry, the boys are boys.
They're fighting.
This one girl was saying that the interview, she was talking about the timeline of when Lauren was interviewed. And she was like, so in the beginning, there's like a pink background and it's like more like almost like little girl's room type vibe. And then towards the end, you see Lauren in a more like gray sweatshirt or whatever. And I don't even remember the timeline, but she was like, this is different times when they were interviewing her, which is why there's a little bit of a disjointedness in her attitude about, does she want to have what the relationship is, whatever. But again, that's unconfirmed. I do feel like just looking at the pictures, Lauren did look older in one of them than that. So it makes me wonder, pardon me. And like you said, when they do these interviews and they do these documentaries and whatnot, I mean, they want a narrative. There's no telling what made the cutting room floor. Like if we saw the unedited interviews, here it is in all its glory. And this is the story they put together.
And so that's what Netflix could do. They could do a part that what we didn't say, because there's still more that everybody said that didn't make it into the final cut, and everybody's already given permission for that. They might have to pay them again. Like I don't know if they I don't know how the money works, because and so anytime somebody's signing an agreement, so I've done some production agreements where they say they own everything, and that they can use it, I think perpetuity, I don't know, it's like forever. that they have the rights to it, and they can use it for whatever they find, and you get paid sometimes, but it was messy.
Well, here's a season 1, season 2, season 3. Take my money. I will Netflix Plus, whatever you want. I would be the first.
It feels like a car accident. So I don't want to watch. So like if a part 2 came out, I would be like, I can't believe they did that. But I would go and watch. Sure. I would.
It's very similar to Sherry Papini, and like maybe not at this stage in the Sherry Papini thing, but like definitely where it was like, oh, new documentaries out, whatever. It's such a train wreck, and it's so like, what is she gonna say now? Or Casey Anthony coming out with her, let me do this docuseries. It's salacious. People are gonna watch, and the director has to be looking at a follow-up because this has gone so insanely viral. Have you seen the memes that they've made out of Kendra with the her looking at the phone, and it's like me ordering a $22 Snickers from DoorDash at 3 in the morning, and I'm like, I've been there, I've done
there are people reenacting it on TikTok. Like there's a side of TikTok that there are ones where if it had been a black mother, there are those like, there are so many different versions of everything. One of my favorites was the meme that said, "I hope everybody has a great day except for this heifer." Like that's it. I hope everybody has a really great day.
One thing too with it, like, the memes are funny, all that, everything. Like, obviously, I laugh at them. I'm not trying to sit here and be like, oh, I didn't. But like when I was looking at a lot of the stuff with Kendra, and I'm sitting here thinking about Lauren, and I'm like, bless her heart. Like here it is all over again, where it's like my mother is the laughing stock of the internet. Like I don't know if any of them expected this to go as explosive huge as it did. I don't think you could or would. Like, how would you predict that?
And I'm telling you, a part of it was production, was how that initial like I forget how long, but I know I looked at it and I was like, how is there 30 minutes left? I know who it is. What else? And it kept getting worse. Like,
yeah, it never got better, ever.
You find out who it is, and then you see that the police cam video that was triggering to me, Kendra has the nerve to make her mouth say the thing everything just kind of went downhill at the end. Because somebody on my channel was like, I can't make it through the last 10 minutes of it. And I was like, honestly, you don't. Like, there's nothing. It doesn't get better.
There's
some that have this like resolution or something. Like you do find out that she went to jail, and you hear Owen's mom's statement, a portion of that. And in the Cut article, if anybody ever does go and read it, that was before Lauren and her dad, before Lauren put her real name, because I think they call her Ashley in the Cut article. And so for her to have the strength to come out and share her story, and that's why it kind of breaks my heart when people come out and they're trying to say that like people are kind of trying to turn on Lauren. I truly think she was a victim in all this.
And another thing I was saying, then we kind of wrap it up and everybody can get back to their football Sunday, I think it was. So when the body cam, so for me, where I had to kind of pause the movie the first time was the body cam footage of them confronting the mother, all that went down. Because to me, I was like, oh my gosh, you're watching, no matter how I feel about Kendra, you're watching a family, the devastation of the family take place in real time. Of all these secrets, all of the stuff come to fruition, and you're watching it play out, and the daughter's face, and the dad's tears, and the bizarre behavior of Kendra towards everything. And I'm like, this is probably maybe arguably one of the most devastating moments in these three people's lives ever. And even though I'm all for watching body cam, I mean, I do it all the time, whatever, but this felt so intimate and so private for the father and Lauren, because it was so terrible to just watch that. Like, oh my God, like they're finding out their lives are changed forever again in this moment. And it was really hard to watch. And then of course the salaciousness of it, of like, oh my gosh, it's the mom and all that.
And because they didn't get a trial, and Lauren never got to, so we don't know if she did give a victim impact statement, or like we don't know what happened at the trial, and just kind of how she was doing in that moment. To me, I think Owen and Lauren, they seem to be on a healing journey. And you mentioned the body keeps the score. And sometimes when bad things happen, sometimes they don't get filed away properly. They just kind of scatter around. And it takes the work of a really good therapist to kind of help parse everything out. And I can't imagine what it would have been like, because we just saw a snapshot of Kendra, and I'm sure there's more, that, because to me the cousin kind of hinted that there's a lot more that's not even going to come out in the documentary. And this is Lauren's mother, and so it can be a lot to have to heal that. Like, it's a lot.
It's a lot. Well, I appreciate you once again coming and hanging out and talking with me. I absolutely love our conversations, and I've been dying to talk to you about this one. It's so much good insight on this. This was absolutely amazing. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. And I like getting to bounce things off of with other creators, because sometimes when you just talk about it on your own, like, because things came up today that didn't come out on some of my other videos, and I love getting to add that psychological perspective here on the sofa.
We absolutely love it too. I've already been like, Dr. Berry's coming to talk to us about unknown number. Yeah, and so if obviously they do another one, we'll end up talking about that too. Or if something more comes out of it, we'll definitely do that, and we'll hang out again and do all this. So thank you, mods and everybody, for joining us and hanging out with us. And that's it. Y'all have a wonderful Sunday. I will see y'all next week, and I'll see you, Dr. Berry, on the sofa again, hopefully soon. Y'all take care. Bye.
The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough. Join the family. It's all love while we laugh at Bert's criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Ooh, oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.